Alright guys, there's actually a lot more coming to Forsaken than we expected, including LMS effects for certain skins, a complete cleanup of the shop, and even more. Let's get into it! A while ago, there was actually a really interesting feature in Forsaken that most people completely forgot about. There was a dev-exclusive Cool Kid skin that had its own custom last man standing effects, making it the only skin in the entire game with a unique LM. Instead of the usual Spectre appearing in the sky, it would display different Cool Kid themed images and effects, making the final showdown feel much more unique. Ever since then, people have wondered why Forsaken never expanded on that idea for other characters, and it ended up staying as a developer-exclusive feature that players could never actually experience. Well, it finally looks like that's changing. The Cool Kid LMS effect is actually making its way into the game, although it isn't exactly the same as the original version. Instead, it uses a design that's much closer to the icon we saw teased a while back. A lot of people clowned on that icon when it was first shown because it didn't really match the update releasing at the time, but now it finally makes a lot more sense. Rather than just seeing the Spectre floating in the sky during Last Man Standing, you'll now see a bunch of goofy Cool Kid images and cool GUI effects taking over the screen. I also wouldn't be surprised if this gets expanded even further later on to better match Cool Kid's classic hack on a pizza place with the visuals being similar to that. Anna Darren also confirmed that this treatment isn't exclusive to Cool Kid either. Plead and several other special characters are expected to receive their own unique LMS effects as well. It doesn't sound like every single character will get one, but instead the skins that deserve something extra will have their own custom LMS effect. We also got another look at John Doe and Jane Doe's LMS, where you can spot the classic Roblox logo, the evidence folders players collected to unlock Jane Doe, and corruption slowly consuming the entire screen. There was even another piece of artwork showing John Doe with the Spectre in the background, with the corruption spreading everywhere, mentioning how his strength continues to grow. Some people immediately assumed this meant he was getting buffed or completely reworked, but I honestly don't think that's the case. His recent height increase is probably all this artwork is referring to rather than teasing any major gameplay changes. Also, people want to see Noli and even Nosferatu get these effects as they should receive the same treatment, because adding exclusive LMS effects would make a lot of skins feel even more rewarding to purchase, unlock if they bring it to milestone skins as well. Should there be more LMS effects for skins? There's also another huge change coming to Forsaken that a lot of people probably weren't expecting, and it's all happening because the game has simply reached the point where there are too many skins to keep everything available at once. With more and more cosmetics being added every update, the developers have decided to completely change how certain skins are handled, and unfortunately, that means some of them are disappearing for good. The skins being permanently removed are mostly the ones that the developers no longer have permission to keep in the game. That includes skins like JX1DX1, iHasaphacilols, and several older collaboration skins that simply won't be returning. However, not every skin is being deleted forever. Instead, a large number of skins are moving over to a brand new rotation system. Rather than being available all the time, they'll appear in the shop for their normal price before rotating back out again. Right now, that rotation includes skins like Fencer Shedletsky, Turkey Day Shedletsky, Inverted Noob, and Guest 1337. Steampunk, with even more expected to rotate in over time. If you want to see the complete list of every affected skin, Forsaken News has already put together a full tweet covering them. There was one skin that looked like it had disappeared completely, though, and that was Campsite Victim Noob. Thankfully, Isaac stepped in and explained that because the skin is based on an important piece of Roblox history, he still wants players to have access to it. So unlike many of the collab skins, Campsite Victim has officially been brought back instead of being left in the rotation or removed entirely. A few other skins are still stuck in limbo, however. Enderman 007 and 7 and all of the Jason skins are still nowhere to be seen, and one of the biggest mysteries is Duster Taff. A lot of players bought that skin before it suddenly disappeared during the 6er and the update, and since then, the developers still haven't explained why it was removed or whether it's ever coming back. So if there's a skin you really want, it might be worth picking it up as soon as it appears. With the new rotation system, you could end up waiting quite a while before you get another chance to buy it. Forsaken already has quite a few Undertale-inspired skins, with Sans for 007 and 7 and even Savior Coolkid, which is based on a fan-made Undertale project. However, there's one Undertale character people have wanted to see in the game for a long time now, and that's Omega Flowy. For anyone who hasn't played Undertale, Flowy is actually the very first character you meet before eventually becoming one of the game's biggest villains, transforming into Omega Flowy during one of the most iconic boss fights in the entire game. With all of the mechanical parts, giant vines, and creepy plant-like design, Photoshop 6er already takes inspiration from Omega Flowy. So that skin is already done, but the thing is, decided to show off a concept exploring what the skin could look like if it was given to Azure instead, and honestly, it fits surprisingly well. The concept completely reimagines Azure using Omega Flowy's design. Instead of normal tentacles, they actually become giant plant tendrils, similar to Flowy's boss fight, with Flowy's TV face in the middle of Azure's chest. Some players have even gone as far as saying they actually prefer this design over the current Photoshop 6er skin. Others have suggested taking inspiration from the Undertale Yellow version of Omega Flowy instead, since the original design is already represented through Photoshop 6er. That version could allow Azure's turrets, traps, and summons to reference the different appearances in that fight. Even the golem could get the original Omega Flowy version instead. It gives the idea its own identity instead of feeling like another version of an existing skin. Who would this skin fit more, 6er or Azure?
Yes, yes, yes!
Instead of constantly buying completely new skins, players would finally be able to progress and upgrade the ones they already own. Since many people have favorite skins they never want to replace, having variants would give those skins much more replayability while rewarding players for continuing to use them. A perfect example of how this could work is Mafioso. Even though it's one of the older skins in the game and used to be incredibly popular, it has slowly been forgotten over time because it hasn't received many updates or much attention. However, Shingu recently made an amazing concept set of milestone variants that show exactly how skin progression could look. The base version starts as the Mafioso we already know, but each milestone slowly builds on his appearance. At milestone 1, he begins wearing more watches and gold chains. By milestone 2, he upgrades to a much larger suit alongside a pocket watch and a brand new scarf. Milestone 3 expands on that even further, giving him even more chains, belts, and an even larger scarf. Finally, at milestone 4, Mafioso becomes completely iced out with expensive watches, gold chains, belts, and accessories covering almost every part of his outfit. Because Mafioso's entire personality revolves around money and showing off his wealth, this progression feels incredibly natural. Some players have even joked that the higher his milestone becomes, the more jewelry he should wear until he's carrying so much gold that it actually starts slowing down his movement. This type of system could also breathe new life into many older skins that players rarely use anymore. Instead of only grinding characters, you'd also have a reason to level up your favorite skins. We've already heard Isaac mention ideas for alternate subject 1 variants, while many players also want similar treatment for Blooded and several other skins across the game. Skin variants could become one of the biggest long-term progression systems Forsaken has ever added. Not only would they make older skins relevant again, but they'd also give players another reason to keep grinding long after they've completed everything else. So Forsaken has so much more we can expect in-game for the next update. What needs to be added? Subscribe and hit the bell for more Forsakening it.